How's it going? So, I'm trying this new thing with story times to kind of take back some of those memories. So, story time. First time I brought my husband to America. So, the first time we flew over to the States, it was to get married. So I had went and spent 6 months on a tourist visa in England to see if, we were going to be compatible and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so it comes time to come back to America. So we fly back and we land in New York on the day before Christmas Eve. Now, it was last minute flights, and me thinking Indianapolis, at least at the time, was like the 11th largest city in America. Thought, not going to be a problem to be able to get a flight. So we land in New York at, I believe it was JFK. I can't remember if it was JFK or LaGuardia. Anyway, so we land there, and we start trying to find flights. We must have went to, I don't know, at least 4 different airlines. And they're all, where? I'm sorry, where is it you're trying to? Indianapolis. We don't have any flights going to Indianapolis. They all acted like the place had never existed. So we finally found an airline that had a flight. And it wasn't going to be leaving until like late on Christmas Day. And it would get us there. Layovers and everything. Somehow we weren't landing until like 7 to 8 o'clock the day after Christmas. And exorbitant prices. So we decided to take a Greyhound. Now I am shitting myself over this because my husband is, even though we hadn't been living very posh at this point, I'd heard all about his posh lifestyle in South Africa. So I was very concerned about taking my husband on a Greyhound. So we ended up catching the Greyhound from Grand Central Station. So, we're downtown New York. He gets his first shock when he goes into like CVS or Walmart or Walgreens, and they sell cigarettes and alcohol. He was like, this is a pharmacist? He was very, very confused that the chemist sold these items. So anyway, we get on the bus. And within like 5 minutes on the bus, on the highway, my husband is like hitting me on the arm. Honey, look at the window. Look at this car. Look. And I'm looking, I can't tell, I'm expecting like, Bugatti, something, fabulous. And I don't see anything. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, this car right there. And it was just a beater. It was just an old beater. And I'm like, what? And he's like, look how messed up. He's like, is that allowed on the road? Because, you don't really see hoopties in the UK. Because, they MOTs and they just don't have them. They don't allow their shit to get the way that our shit was. So that was hilarious to me. Because I was like, that's actually a pretty decent looking car, with my experience. So I was just like, okay. And the bus was fine. It was very empty. There wasn't a lot of people on it. There was a couple Spanish people in the back getting trashed. There's people around. Everybody was kind of having a good time, drinking. The bus driver was very chill. So it was a, very chill ride. We got to Philadelphia and had a quick stop over there. And we were outside having a cigarette. And we're just standing there, outside the bus station, a little bitty tiny bus station, having a cigarette. And this dude walks up, and he was asking us if we want any crack or pills. And we're like, no, we're good, thank you. Anyway, there's this pregnant lady standing there with a stroller, and he asked her the same question, and she left with him. So my husband was really like, okay. So, I'm so impressed with like how well he's handling all this, because I'm stressing. He's not stressing, but I'm stressing because I'm afraid he's going to stress. So anyway, all was good until we got to Columbus, Ohio, and had to change buses. So we changed buses, and all of a sudden we are on a fully fully packed bus. And so like the bus had left Grand Central Station. It left at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve. So anyway, so this is an all-day bus thing. And I might have my dates a little bit. It might have been Christmas Day, because I know we arrived the day after Christmas. Anyway, so let's say we landed on Christmas Eve, got the bus at like 1 o'clock Christmas morning. So we spent the whole Christmas day on the Greyhound. Anyway, we get to Ohio, and all of a sudden we are in a slammed bus. We're on a slammed bus. The bus is absolutely packed. No longer do we have a chill bus driver. We have a very angry bus driver that is screaming, cussing, road raging, and it turns into a different bus ride. So now, you know, people have kind of heard my husband talk, and so they're hearing this British accent, and so they're talking to him, and now he's getting all this advice about going to Indianapolis, you know. The most helpful being, oh yeah, Indianapolis is great. You go on vacation, you leave on probation, and then you're back for your violation. You know, so he's getting all the stuff. But, you know, it ended up being, it was so interesting. It was an adventure. It was one of our earliest, you know, adventures, as it were. And it was surreal. It was fun. Like I said, you know, I had taken on stress by the end of it. Even when it got slammed and packed, he was fine. But it was a good memory. Got to, you know, made it to Indianapolis, to the bus depot there. My husband was very impressed about, you know, me having to tell the cab driver where to go, because cab driver had no clue. So, you know, I gave the cab driver directions. You know, we pull up. My kids freak out because, you know, they haven't seen me in 6 months at this point. Kids freak out. This is the first time I met my kids, met my mom. We hadn't gotten married. This is when we got married. This is right before we got married. So, you know, we get there. My mom is, you know, my mom. So we get there, and there's like 2 kitchen tables completely full of food, because, you know, they'd had Christmas Day the day before, but Mom rehat everything, had it all out just like it was Christmas Day again. For me, my fiance at the time, my kids and her, and she had a turkey, she had a ham, she had like 7 pies, like he was stars in the husband's eyes. He was like, wow, this is amazing. But yeah, that was me and my husband's first adventure, me bringing him to America, and it is a good memory, and I am going to continue to cherish that memory, and that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sharing stories of me, of my life. Some of them will have my husband, some of them won't, but they're going to be positive whenever I think about him. But yeah, that was a good one. So there you go. Maybe not interesting to you, but it was an adventure.